Hey everybody, how's it going out there in Drum Talk TV land? Wherever you are is always Drum Talk TV land. I'm Dan Shinder, broadcasting from Globe, Arizona, 100 miles east of Phoenix, up in the mountains, away from all the craziness to some degree. And our guest today, I'm so excited to have Aquiles Priester on from Los Angeles. How are you, Achilles?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. I really appreciate you taking time to make time on a
Mhm.
Saturday. And your shirt, I love your shirt. I'm a huge Iron Maiden fan. I interviewed
I'm
Nico.
huge.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
interviewed Nico last Saturday. And that
Uh,
actually is tied to my first question. Um,
okay.
how cool was it, and how did it come about that you played with Paul Di'Anno, the first lead vocalist of Iron Maiden? And I started seeing Iron Maiden in
Uh,
concert way back when Paul was singing and when Clive Burr was playing drums before Bruce and before Nico.
mhm.
Rothschild, my favorite song from that lineup.
Very cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this happened when I was playing for the very first time in São Paulo because I used to live in the south of Brazil in a city called Porto Alegre. And my band Hanger, we were doing our first show in São Paulo, and a manager showed up to watch me playing. And because I was kind of a new drummer with some kind of different approach.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he went to the show. He watched the full set, and he came to me and he said, "Oh, I'm planning to work with an international singer. It's a huge one, and I would like to know if you would like to join the band. I'm putting a band together with Brazilian guys with good players, and I would like to have you in the band." Before he even say the name of the singer, I just said, "Where should I sign?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then, I think 2 weeks later, he sent me a demo tape in a cassette player. At that time, that was 1999.
Oh, yeah.
And then I start working on those songs, and we record all the album without Paul Di'Anno. So the Brazilian band, we rehearsed and we made all the arrangements. And then when Podiano came to Brazil, all the rhythmic session was done with guitars, with lead guitars, with bass player.
Right.
But we had a kind of interpretation of those songs, and he had another one. So sometimes when I'm doing fills, I was thinking that he was not singing in that part, and he decided to sing.
Oh,
So there was a kind of we are kind of overlapping our ideas. So
yeah.
sometimes it's kind of weird, but then when we play the full album live, then we made the proper arrangements to make the music sounds like a real song, you
Yeah,
know?
more cohesive with where his vocal placement was.
Yes, exactly. Because when we were recording the album, I was just counting. Okay, this should be the intro. This should be the verse. This should be the chorus. This should be this should be the bridge. So this was the way that I was thinking. But
Mm-hmm.
when he got there, he started thinking in his way. You know.
What was he
But
thinking?
yeah, exactly. And I remember that because I went to São Paulo, I recorded an album, and I flew back home. And I remember that the guy from the studio was saying that Paul Diano was going nuts because he was trying to sing, and my feet was all over the place. Like, what the fuck this drummer is doing? That
So,
was
at what point in the process did you meet Paul?
just before the tour.
Okay.
Like a week before the tour, then we went to the studio to rehearse the songs. And then there was a big surprise for me because he put on the set list a lot of Maiden stuff.
Oh, like
Like,
what?
yeah, yeah, Killers, Flower, Remember Tomorrow. I remember like yesterday when the bass player started playing Remember Tomorrow, and Paul started singing along, and I said, "Oh my God, is this really happened to me?" I'm a huge fan of Iron Maiden, and now I'm here in São Paulo rehearsing with this guy. You know,
Yeah,
that was
crazy.
amazing. That was amazing.
What was he
And
like to work with?
sorry, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was he like to work with?
Very demanding.
Yeah.
Very demanding. Yeah, very demanding. But he was really friendly with because at that time was the first time that he was coming to play in Brazil.
Right.
So there was a commotion. A lot
Yeah.
of people haven't seen him
In
live.
person, yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first time, and that was like we played 7 shows in the most important cities in Brazil, and all the shows were totally sold out because it was the first chance that the guys were having the chance to watch the first Iron Maiden singer. So that was
Wow.
amazing. But at the same time, he lost his temper with like sound check stuff, like hotel stuff, but I was totally away from that. I was just sitting behind and just watching what was happening,
Yeah.
But with the band, he was really cool. He allowed me to do a solo. He was always making jokes in the middle of the set with me. That at that time I was using like a short hair, and he said, "This guy is the Jim Carrey of the drums."
Wow, how funny.
Yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That's
And
great.
a huge, at that time I was going to the next level with a huge move,
Yeah.
for me, because I was just playing with my local bands in Porto Alegre, and after six months, all the Brazilian scene, they were meeting a new drummer.
Yeah.
Oh, now we have another drummer that play with double bass.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
That's cool. And speaking, we'll talk about other people that you've played with and everything. And folks, tell us where you're watching from, by the way, and feel free to give us questions. I'm actually going to type that in here really quick. Let's see. Tell us where you are watching from. And whoops. So you mentioned double bass, and you've had some amazing drum kits, and I have a few pictures queued up of your different sets that I'm going to show the audience. You won't be able to see them, but one of my favorite topics to talk about with people like yourself, because I'm a big drum kit guy. I play a lot of progressive rock, and I've got a big kit, and there's a lot of drummers out there that, for whatever reason, criticize other drummers for having a big kit, and personally, I don't understand that, because to me, is
because they are jealous,
or they don't know what to do with it, or it doesn't fit their style of music. But either way, to me, it's like a piano or an orchestra. You would never say that symphony has too many violins, or you'd never say the piano doesn't need 88 keys. It doesn't mean you're up and down them the whole song. You use what you need for those parts of the songs. And to me, a larger drum kit, now I love all of yours, it's different notes, it's different tones, it's different textures. So why don't you talk about some of your kits and how your setup evolved while I show some pictures, okay?
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Great. Let me pick out a kit to start with. So there's, you can't see it, but I'm going to describe one of them to you. So
Okay,
there's
cool.
Aquiles with the red Pisces symbols, of course, and the silver sparkle. And here's an overhead behind the kit view where you've got the red heads. Are those Remo or Evans?
Evans.
That's
Yeah.
right, Evans. With the red Pisces and the silver sparkle. Why don't you talk about that setup and the sizes and how you got there? Like, how did this become your setup? And then I'll click through a few more pictures for people to see different versions of it.
Okay, cool. So this is Sparkle drum set. I supposed to use this drum set in Europe when I was playing with Primal Fear. I played for 7 to 9 months with this band, and then Mapex provided me this drum set in Europe. But then we had some problems with the distance, and I have to leave the band. And then I was leaving at that time. I was moving to LA. That was 2015, 2016, and I moved to LA in July of 2016. Then this drum kit was inside a Mapex warehouse for more than a year. And then I called the Mapex AR in China, and I said, that kit that it's in Europe, I need that drum kit in LA because I just moved here and I don't have like a big drum set here. So he made all the arrangements, and he sent me all the drum kit with all the hardware and all the drum heads, everything.
Wow.
To LA. So I started setting up that drum kit here in LA. That was 2000, by the end of 2016. And then I went to a warehouse in a studio called, um, I don't remember the name of the studio. Is that studio that is managed by, oh my God, the guy, Jonathan Mover.
Oh, Jonathan Mover, yeah.
Yeah, what's the studio
I
that
forgot the
he's
name of
in
his
charge of?
studio.
A
Yeah,
swing
it's
house.
in
Swing house.
Hollywood. Right, yes.
Swing house. So I went there, and there was a kind of little shop from that Dario. And then the guy told me, "Do you need some drum heads? Do you want to try something different?" And I said, "No, I'm okay. I have been using AC2 for more than 10 years, and I'm very happy." And he said, "This new drum head just came out. You should try some because you are a heavy player. Maybe you're gonna like the tone." And then he gave me a full set of those red hydraulics drum head.
Yeah.
And then I started playing with those drum heads, and I just love it. And then that was a kind of November and December of 2016. And then during the NAMM show of 2017, I went to the Paiste booth, and those guys, they were relaunching again the color sounds,
Right.
the red ones. And then I said, "Whoa, this is gonna be the perfect match." So to give me uh, like a brand new start with, like, starting a new year with a brand new drum kit. And I said, "Okay, I want this drum set." Then I spoke to Eric Paisi, and he provided me a full set in less than 2 months. Then I started playing with that. So the funny thing that in Brazil, the dealer of Evans, he said that since I start using those drum heads, those ones was the best sellers.
Oh wow, they got real popular from you playing them. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So then that was the way that this red thing started. And of course, I love red because my octopus is red.
Yeah.
This one. So it's kind of red. It's one of my favorite colors. So that was a kind of good match. And maybe people don't know the history, how that drum set or that style of red drum set comes together. But
Right.
that was the way, that was
cool.
kind of, that was not intentional, that was just happening. And I think when you have something in your life like this that you are not planning that much, sometimes it's much more natural. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you are not forcing people to buy your idea or your history about it, because it's something that you just love because you are doing what you love.
Yeah.
That is play drums.
Yeah, exactly. The
So-
last time you and I spoke was a year and a half ago already. It was when you did an interview with me at the Winter NAMM show in 2019. What have you been doing since then? And what's on the horizon, especially after all this COVID stuff is gone and you can tour again and do clinics? What have you been up to, and what do you have planned?
Okay, so I couldn't be at NAMM show this year because I was touring with Tony McAlpine. And when we finished that tour, was a kind of in the beginning. No, that was the last week of February.
Right.
And then the guy from Dragon Force, he called me, Herman Lee, the guitar player. He called me, and they were looking for a drummer to fill in because their drummer was sick. And so I had 7 days to learn 13 songs.
Oh, wow.
5 of them 200 BPMs.
Oh, jeez.
So I was not ready to play that kind of stuff because I was playing much more progressive stuff with Tony McAlpine. And when I'm playing my stuff, I need to be prepared. I need at least a couple of weeks to get the endurance back, all the chops and the double bass skills,
Yeah.
So basically, I just had 7 days, and then I jumped on this tour, and we played 4 shows. And then when I was playing the 5th one, that was the first show that I was settled. I was comfortable with the set, and was the first show that I played without those big headphones to keep me safe about the noise from the stage, just to concentrate on the click tracks and in the songs.
Yeah.
So I played for the first time with my in-ears, the next show got canceled, and they canceled all the tour because of this COVID-19.
Yeah.
So I supposed to play with them 18 shows, and we just played 5 shows.
5. Are they going to pick the tour back up again next year?
No, probably not, because I think their drummer are okay now.
Yeah.
He lives in Italy, a great drummer, Guy Angeloni.
Oh,
great
yeah.
guy. Yeah. So, and then I supposed to be on tour with Wasp in the fall in Europe, but that it I think that like 10 days ago they canceled the tour. They were trying to make it happen, but you know, with all the situation is not safe at all.
Right.
So it got canceled. So now there's a big white screen in front of me with nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing to do. So,
Are you doing any recording from home, like file sharing with other artists?
yeah, so this is something that was really nice about this quarantine. That was the first time that I set up a little mixing, recording and mixing setup inside my practice room, because all the time I was always really busy. When I was practicing in my room, I was practicing for go on tour. So every time I was like touring, and then when I was coming back home, I had like maybe one week off, and then I was starting to rehearse for the next tour. So basically, this time was the first time that I had the time to plan something. So basically, now I can record my videos by myself, but in the old school way, you know, one take. You know, I got that Zoom live track L20 that I can record all my channels together, but I don't want to spend my time like editing, mixing. I just like when I finish the recording, I go there, like I take a listen, I listen to what I recorded, and then I said, oh, this is not good enough. Let me do one more take. So when I got the perfect take for my ears, I mix that in that console, and then I bounce it, and then it's done, and then I just put it together with the GoPro. So this is really nice, because this is forcing me to play like one entire take really well.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
You know that nowadays when you are recording in a studio, you don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
So this is something that are making people kind of lazy.
Yeah,
because
in a way, yeah.
Yeah, because you can just record like the first bars, and then you can jump on the next part and the next part, and after 2 hours you have the entire song done. But you didn't record that way. So this is something that I'm enjoying a lot. I'm going to my practice rooms like every day. Like sometimes I don't go on Monday, but from Sunday. From Monday to Saturday, I'm going to my practice room every day. And even that I don't have anything in mind, like what I'm gonna do, when I get there, I start doing stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
That's great. So you're constantly keeping your chops up, which is really
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm going to see who's watching, see if anybody has any questions. Feel free to chime in, folks. If you have questions, chime into the comments. Thank you, everybody, for, wow, they love the pictures of the kit that I was showing. Ray Childs has a question for you. He says, I notice you don't use direct drive pedals, just basic chain drive. You're incredible on the double bass. What kind of pedals do you use?
I play the DW 9000 pedals.
Awesome.
Those ones. And I remember how I started playing these pedals. I went to a drum show in Poland, and that was 2009. And at that time, I was using the W5000. Okay. But the dealer in Poland, he couldn't provide me the 5,000, so he sent me to 9,000. So when I got there and I start setting up my drum kit, I said, oh my God, how can I play my songs with a new pedal if I never tried this one? So I spoke to the guy that was doing the festival. I said, I need a longer sound check to try these pedals.
Right.
Man, that was so easy to play with those pedals. And after the show, the dealer, he tried to to grab those pedals back, and I said, no, this is going back to Brazil. Talk to Garrison in United States. He gonna give you back a credit or wherever, but these ones are going back to Brazil. So since that, I never play with any other pedal.
Wow, that's great.
I love them. I love them.
Awesome. Thank you for that, and thanks for the question, Ray. And then we have, let's see, there's someone this wrote something in Brazilian Portuguese. Okay, so I can translate, but I can't read it very well. Eduardo Douglas says that Aquiles, you're a huge influence on the drums, a huge force. And then we've got, people from all over, from Maryland, from Alaska. Thank you, Mark Gage, for the nice comment. Let us know where you are, everybody.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So if you consider, all the bands that you've played with, Hanger, Paul Diano, we've got Eduardo Falaschi, Freakies, Spartacus, of course. There's so many. Where did you start musically? Like, when did you start playing drums, and who were some of your first musical influences?
Let me show you something.
Okay.
Ta-da!
Oh, wow, really? Dean Castronovo.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This is my master. Actually, I have 4 very important drummers in my life. The first one is João Baroni. It's a guy from Brazil that play in a band called Paralamas do Sucesso. They are huge. And I started playing drums because of this guy during the first Rock in Rio in 1985.
Wow.
Okay? So in 1986, Iron Maiden released the album Somewhere in Time. And that album just got me the way that nothing ever got my attention.
Really?
So Nico was the guy that introduced me to the heavy metal stuff. And then my teacher, Kiko Freitas, that you must know him.
Yeah, Kiko's an amazing jazz drummer.
Yeah, exactly. So he was my teacher because at that time I was a kind of rock guy, like a metal player, but I started studying with Kiko, and I was asking him, I want to get your technique, your taste, your supreme drumming, and I want to put this into the heavy metal stuff. And he said, well, this is interesting because I always give classes to guys that want to play like jazz or Brazilian music. So this is something different, and I'm excited to help you. So that was the way. So these guys like João Baroni, Nico McBride, and Kiko Freitas, and then Dean Castronovo. This guy, he changed my life. Wow. Because when I watched this back in 1993, this one was released in 1990, but I got this copy in 1993. And then I was able to understand because I was doing classes with Kiko Freitas already. So this changed my life. And I just did a live with Dean Castronovo in my birthday. That was like two days ago. Yeah. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. Dean's a great guy. He's an amazing singer. He's as good a singer as he is a drummer. It's amazing. Yeah.
So he was the guy that showed me the way that I want to play. So the way that I'm setting up my drum kit nowadays is still the same that he was setting up here in this video.
That's
so
great.
Many people sometimes, like young drummers, they don't know Dean Castronovo, but then when they watch this in YouTube, they said, okay, now I understand where Aquiles have been stolen things all these years.
That's hilarious. What is like one or two of the biggest takeaways that you learned from Dean and from that video? Yeah,
the Paradiddle stuff.
Paradiddle,
when he was playing like the song, it's Sword of the Warrior from the Cacophony album, Go Off, and he played like 18 notes on the bass drum and 16 notes in Paradiddles here on the hands, like that was amazing. You know, he recorded in 1988. in one
Yeah.
take, and he
Wow.
sounds just like a machine.
Yeah.
So I always state that Dean Castronovo is the guy that took the metal drumming to the next level.
That's awesome. That's great. Are there any influences you have, whether they are specific drummers or bands that you listen to now or used to listen to, that would surprise people? Like you mentioned Kiko Freitas, a jazz drummer, but do you have any other influences or bands you like that are far from metal that people might be surprised?
I can say João Baroni, this guy from Paralamas do Sucesso, he has like a totally different tune. The way that he tuned his drum is so unique.
Really?
And even when he's doing videos from his practice room without microphones, you can hear the tone from the camera. It's something that this is really nice when it comes to drummers, that we have our personal touch, a magic touch, because the sound is provided by our hands. That's why you can put like 10 drummers in the same drum kit with the same tuning, they're gonna sound totally different.
Yes, absolutely. It all comes down
Really
to
cool.
technique, velocity, how they hit. Yeah, and those are the nuances that make us each speak an individual language on the drums.
Absolutely.
And I think that is what is missing from most drummers and other musicians really too. When they're in a cover band, I use this analogy all the time. When they're in a cover band, and like how many times have you heard a cover band and maybe they'll play an Aerosmith song, AC/DC, Bad Company, Led Zeppelin, but all those songs sound the same. They sound like that cover band, not like the band that they're trying to emulate, because they're not really putting in the effort to play like the musicians of each band and that song. And what you just described is the differences between the nuances of these different drummers or even guitar players, and I think that's
Absolutely.
important, really important.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something I remember, because my background, I used to play in a lot of cover bands,
Yeah.
So, and when I was studying with Kiko Freitas and studying this VHS from Dean Castronovo, I was playing like Brazilian hits, and I was putting double bass, I was putting paradisos on the right cymbals, and playing like kind of busy for that kind of music. So nowadays, I understand that I was wrong, because I was playing like the way that I want to play, but that was not the right band to play those kind of stuff. But at that time, that was the only band that I had. So
Yeah.
I could play it that way. So that was a way like to practice what you are learning and what you were studying. But nowadays, when I saw the videos, I see, wow, that was weird. Look at that. People just stop dancing.
Or hurt themselves trying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, that's funny. What can you, without a demonstration, philosophically and describing to drummers out there who want to work on their speed and build up their speed, whether it's on their hands, whether it's on double bass, what is a basic foundational formula you can give people as to how to approach building your speed?
Now it's time to sell my drumming. Wait a minute.
Okay, great. I love it. And let us know if you have questions, folks.
I have this DVD that you can find at Amazon or Hudson Music or Guitar Center, whatever. This is all about double bass drumming. So here you're gonna have a lot of exercise, more than 50 exercise, and I also played 14 songs.
Oh wow!
So here I have, this one is much more about double bass technique. So I have a lot of, and I also have a book that is called 100 Double Bass Patterns. And a book with CDs, with a CD. So if the guy, he cannot read music, he can understand by listening to the CD. So, and this one that got the first winner, #1 at the Modern Drummer magazine in 2014. This is all about drum fills. I show here 100 top drum fills from
Wow.
my bands, and I also show people how to like try to create different things using my drum fills.
Oh, great.
And yeah, and this is the last one that is much more like about my performance. It's 278 minutes. I record this one in LA inside the Harman facility in Los Angeles. So
Oh,
this one is great. It's absolutely great. It is like I record this one in very, very high quality. So I released this one as well in Blu-ray. So
I
this is all
remember
about.
you had that when we did our interview together at the NAMM show.
So, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys you can find this at Amazon or Hudson Music.
Great. And um, gosh, I've got so many questions about that because I'm not a speech. So here's a weird thing. A lot of people don't like things that they're not into, you know. But for me, when I see you drum and you know Demetrius Locks.
Absolutely, he's a great friend of mine.
Yeah, Demetrius. When I see guys like you play, James Payne, you know, these really fast drummers, to me, it's not my thing, but I am just fascinated by it. I'm fascinated by the physicality of it.
Mhm.
And so a question would be like endurance wise, what am I trying to ask? What's the ratio of importance or capability? Is it more endurance? Is it being more limber? Is it really just training your nerves and muscle memory to be able to go faster? Like, how does all that break down together?
Okay, so the way that I practice endurance is it's a kind of secret. It's my personal secret.
Okay.
So I always play with my music, with the songs that I have recorded in the past, but I don't respect those patterns. I just play like over all the song 60 notes.
Okay.
So if that song I record in 180 BPMs is a kind of heavy stuff to play 5 minutes non-stop 60 notes.
Right.
So when I'm recording a song like that, I don't play like all the full song with 16 notes all the time. But when I'm practicing to play that song, before I get into the song and into the details, I play over the song just with 16 notes all the time. Because then if I have the endurance to play that song for 5 minutes non-stop with the same power, I'll be able to play that song really well live when I'm playing live. Because it's totally different when you are rehearsing inside your practice room and when you go on stage, you got a lot more distractions, you know, when you are playing. When you are playing inside your room, you are alone just with yourself and with the backing track. So no one it's making mistakes besides you, just you. But when you are on stage, you are sharing the attention with the audience because you have much more players together. So that when shit happens. So in this kind of situation, you need to be totally prepared to play like a 2-hour set playing double bass stuff, you know?
Wow.
So
neat.
So
And
this is the way that I practice.
Thank you for that. And do you have like physical? Two questions. Do you have physical workouts that help prepare you for that outside of drumming? And do you do stretching exercises with your feet, ankles, hands, fingers before and after you play?
Before. Just before, yeah. After, actually, what I usually do, like always, almost every day, it's running. I run for 40 minutes.
Oh, great!
So, because in the past, when I was a kid, I was a football player in Brazil. So when I was 18, I was a professional football player, but I had to make my choice. You know.
Were you? Let me guess. Were you a forward?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
So, and then you know, I had to decide because these two careers, you need to give yourself 100%.
Yeah.
You know, So the coach at that time, he said, Aquiles, you are an amazing football player, but you should know that to go ahead with this career, you're gonna need give yourself much more than what you are giving now, because you are splitting your time with music and with sport. So this is two words that cannot combine. You know, you need to make your choice. And then I start to play drums. So basically, this is the way that I see like drumming or music. It's just like another career. It's so important, like be a doctor, a lawyer, or wherever. You have to practice every day. You need to update yourself. You basically you need to love what you are doing, because this way is easier. It's the same thing that if you are working in a company that you are getting like a good salary, but you are not enjoying what you are doing.
Yeah, what's
So
the point?
there is no passion.
Right.
So if you don't have passion in what you are doing every day, your life's gonna be fucking misery for sure.
Yeah, you're right. You know, my wife, I wonder if she's watching. So here, I'll get the microphone closer. So my wife is actually older than me, and everyone thinks that she's 10 or 15 years younger than me.
Wow.
Because she attributes it to she loves what she does. She's an artist and she teaches art and she does art therapy. And she says if you love what you do and have, like you said, that passion, you will always feel younger, look younger, be healthier. And she's a perfect example of that. Yeah.
Cool. That's really cool. Yeah, this is true. And the stretches that I do are those basic stuff.
Static.
Some push-ups every day, push-ups, running, some abs, because it's really important, because when you play with double bass, you use a lot your abs, because sometimes you are playing with your with both legs.
Yeah.
And so you need to find a balance when you are doing the rolls, like with the same kind of patterns that you are playing in your double bass and with your hands. So you need to make your abs stronger.
Yeah, there needs to be a development of the equality of their strength and endurance.
Yeah. And something that people get wrong all the time, that they think that double bass, it's about the way that you play with power and how hard you play. And this is not this. It's much more about balance. You know?
Oh, I love that.
It must be you need to play all the notes with the same level, with the same power. It doesn't matter if you are playing 60 notes or different patterns when you are playing just with one foot, you know. So if you are playing a groove with one foot and you start playing double bass in the next part, it should be exactly in the same level. Otherwise, your sound guy gonna be doing this doing all the show, you know. So this is something that when you are recording yourself just by cell phone or wherever, you can get the sound of the mixing that what you are playing in an acoustic drum set. You know, you must be able to hear everything that you are playing, the bass drum, the snare, the toms, the crashes, everything must be in the same level.
Yeah.
Because then you are sending your sound out already mixed. So you make the life of the sound engineer much easier.
Yeah, that's great advice.
And of course, you can get a much better tone.
Yeah, great advice. Thank you. I'm going to see if anyone has. Hey, Joe Franco is watching. Hey, Joe.
Joe Franco.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I tell him that I have that VHS double bass drumming.
Oh, that's
great. I studied that one, and also the book. I'm a huge fan, and that was a pleasure for me when I played with Vinnie Moore. I had to play some of his tunes. That was amazing.
Stuff? Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Joe, I'll have to email you. You got to come on the show. We haven't talked in a while.
That was a dream come true. He's a great guy. I met him.
Well, he's an okay guy. No.
Wow, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he is. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm just checking. Well, you got some people from Sao Paulo, Philippines. Awesome. I'm going to play a song real quick, and you won't see it. You might hear it, but the audience will see it and hear it. I want to show everybody an excerpt of The Hanger of Hannibal. That's
you can find it here. Yeah, you can find this one here. Okay.
Cool. Check it out. Here we go. Let's watch some of this, folks.
Cool.
Let's skip ahead a little. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff, man. I got two questions from the audience, Achilles. The first one is from Ray Childs. He asked, do you use triggers for sounds you prefer, either live or recording?
Yes, I use triggers on my bass drums, and I used to sample my studio sound.
Cool.
So it's not something that I can get from
like a library or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I put my wave, my sound inside, and then basically this is for my monitors, because I'm an old school guy, so I like to play with
wedges.
Wedges and subwoofer.
Nice.
And then the guy from the sound engineer, he can decide if he wants to use the sound mixed with the acoustic sound or not. This is not something that bothers me, since like if he can get a good tone just with the acoustic sound, it's okay. But for my taste in my monitor, and since I'm always carrying my monitors that are provided by JBL, a huge subwoofer and one 18-inch speaker, so as an edge, so I can get my sound exactly the same way every night. So it makes my life easier.
Yeah, hearing the articulation helps, right?
Yeah, exactly. A lot. So basically, cool. And then when you are listening better, when you can hear better what you are playing, you can provide a much better performance for the band.
Exactly. And another gentleman, Jim Ho, asks, and then I'll get to John Kistian's question, and Ray. Wow, a lot of questions now. Hold on, I'll get to Sheila as well. Where'd Jim's question go? Jim asks, Achilles, do you have your hi-hat pedal close to your left bass drum pedal with where the toms line up? He has 22-inch bass drums. He now uses a double bass pedal on one drum because he couldn't get the hi-hat where he wanted. While you answer that, I'm going to show a picture again of your silver sparkle kit while you explain the setup.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, every time when I'm getting a new hi-hat machine, I ask to the W people to send me the hi-hat without legs, so I can set up really closer from my left pedal. Right. And then I can put those clamps that you can attach on the bass drum and on the hi-hat, or you can use a kind of Gibraltar part to make that more stable, you know.
Right.
So you can put that tube on the rack, and then you can attach that to your hi-hat. Many ways to do this.
Very
but cool. The way that I played with my with my left hi-hat, I need that one exactly in the position where I set up that hi-hat, because I'm a double bass player, but I do a lot of things with my open hi-hat. Details when I'm playing some of the arrangements that I have, like, can be a heavy song, a fast song, but some parts you can have a little bit more taste playing different things on the hi-hat. So I need that hi-hat to be easier to play without having those regular legs that
which get in the way.
Keep the hi-hat totally away.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Cool.
It doesn't work for me.
Thanks for that question, Jim. And here's one from Sheila Klotz. Says, okay, so she says, maybe you already asked, but what kick pedals are you using? And Achilles said he uses the DW 9000s. Chain drive, old school. John Kinsting says, please tell me a bit about your footwear and your thoughts about playing barefoot. And before you answer, Ray Childs had a question about special shoes, and I happen to know that you wear Urban Board's Aquiles Priester high tops because I have a pair of those.
Oh, really?
I have the black pair,
Have you tried them?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. You know what I normally play in, though? And then please answer their questions. What I normally play in I played for a long time in like running shoes, like athletic shoes. Then I switched to just playing in socks. And then one day I put my pull shoes on, and it's like playing in ballet shoes. I love playing in pull shoes. I love your shoes also. The pull shoes are like having nothing, but yet give me the stability of a little bit of a sole. Because I have a really fast single foot, and having a little bit of that sole for some of the grab of the kind of stuff really works well. But how about you? Have you played barefoot? And tell them more about your footwear.
Okay, so basically when I started playing double bass, I was trying to play like with regular shoes, but I couldn't get like the proper I couldn't get fast enough, when I was trying to play. And then one day, for some reason, I don't know why, that I was with the wrong tennis shoes, and I started playing just with my socks, and I felt much more comfortable playing that way. So, but then, since I was playing a lot, like many hours, just like when I was practicing, my feet was getting hurt. So then I decided to buy a ballet shoes. And then when Rodrigo from Urban Boards, he asked me about doing the signature shoes, I told him, can you do something between like a shoes for boxer player and...
That's why I like your shoes. That's
exactly.
Exactly why I picked them out, because it reminded me of like boxer shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
They're lightweight and they stable your ankle. Yeah.
So that was what I asked him. I need something like beautiful, like with a good looking, like a boxer shoes, and also with the lightness of a ballet shoes.
Yep.
And I said, and he told me, yes, I got you. We can do something. Then he made something like 3 to 4 different shapes, and then I choose one. This one that I'm using, and this is really important because when I'm practicing, I'm always practicing with those shoes, and when I'm playing live, I'm always playing with them. So there's no hard time when you are playing. You know exactly what you're gonna get. Right. You can get really a good friction when you are playing. It's not that bad, but it's not so slippery as well. So it's just perfect for the way that I play.
Great. I have one more question.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with music. This is the Aquiles Priester fun fact question, so everyone can kind of get to know you a little bit more as a person. When you're not playing drums, when you're not recording, when you're not working on a clinic or a new DVD or going on tour, when you're not doing anything having to do with music, what do you like to do? How do you spend your time?
As you can see, I have a huge collection of Blu-rays here in the back.
Yeah.
So I love to watch movies, and I
Oh,
love like inspiring movies.
oh, great. What are
Yeah.
some of your favorites, Achilles?
I can tell you that that Rush, the movie Rush from the history of Niki Lauda,
Yes.
that one is amazing.
Yeah.
I can recommend you guys. And also every time when I'm starting a new process to get in shape and I need to inspire myself, I watch all the Rocky Balboa's movies as well.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah,
have
those are inspiring.
very inspiring. So basically, I love moves based on true stories because
Oh,
you know
that's great.
you can feel much more. You can feel the power of that story and you can get inspired because that is something that they remake that movie in a story, but that somehow that happened
That's
very
why,
close from what you are watching.
yeah, that's why I like Star Wars so much because it's all based on real history, right? No, let me ask you this. Let me ask you about this movie.
No, I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Did
cannot get
you
it.
did you
I just
see
don't
the
get it.
movie 1910?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Wasn't that fascinating that they shot that whole movie as one continuous shot with one camera?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a great story, great movie based on real events, of course, and the way it was shot was just fascinating.
Absolutely. And I was trying to get some mistakes, well, this is not the same scene that should be after that one. But I saw that
Yeah,
movie like 2 or 3 times and it's just perfect.
the continuity is amazing.
Yeah. It's
One
amazing.
of my more recent, based on true story movies is Highwaymen, which is the story of catching Bonnie and Clyde with Kevin Costner. And
Okay.
yeah,
I
that
heard
was a
about this one.
great movie. Yeah, Highwaymen. There's another one my wife and I watched recently. I can't think of that was a true story. But what would be one more of your favorites for people to check out?
I can say all the Hannibal Lecter's movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I love that character.
yeah,
Even that is not true. Actually, somehow it's true because they were inspired somehow by Teddy Bundy and some of
right.
those serial killers. So, and people must be thinking, wow, this guy is creepy because he likes serial killers. Actually, I don't like the way that they act. I like the way that they think, and somehow I put that kind of approach in my drumming, into the details, to be
Yeah,
perfect, precise, and to choose your right victims when you are
yeah,
playing like the right shots, the right
yeah.
patterns. They are my victims.
Ah, that's great. Awesome. Achilles, I want to thank you so much for taking time out on a Saturday. It was great to get
My
caught up
pleasure.
and spend time with you. And you know you're welcome to come on anytime you have something you want to talk about. Let me know, even if it's about another band or drummer that you found and admire or whatever. Just let me know and we'll schedule something.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here on
Thanks.
Talk TV. Thank to all the guys that were watching and send me questions. I really
Yeah,
appreciate it. And
yeah.
hopefully we're gonna see each other soon on
Yeah,
the Zoom when
absolutely.
it's
That would be
possible.
great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks everybody so much for watching. Achilles Priester and myself, Dan Shinder, here on Drum Talk TV. Thank you so much for
Thank
following
you.
what we do and watch for more fun stuff coming. Achilles caps off a full month of interviews here in June. As we move into July, Achilles, we had, as I told you, Nico McBrain. I gotta look at
Awesome.
my whiteboard. I can't remember them all. We just did Peter Erskine the other day, Kenny Arnoff.
Wow.
We had a gentleman named Pa Cow from Africa. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I got all kinds of fun stuff in the works for July and August. So thanks
Thank you so
everybody.
much for having me among these monsters. I'm so
Oh,
proud. I'm so proud. Thank you
very
so much.
honored to have you on and have you as a friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.